Your homework to think about forgiveness and then come back and tell me and write a 500-page essay, 500-word essay. Make sure you bring them in and submit it to me. Just kidding. Forgiveness. Matthew West, we're going to play this song. What happens and how he wrote this song, how he came to be about this song, is a woman's daughter was killed by a drunk driver. And this woman, they were in the court, and the man had asked the family to forgive him for what he did, getting behind the wheel drunk and killing the daughter. So it took a little while, and the man was sentenced to 26 years in jail. It took a little while, but the mother finally went to the jailhouse, and she went there to forgive him. And she forgave him. But it didn't stop there. Not only did she forgive him, she started going back and becoming friends with this person that killed her daughter. But it didn't stop there. Family and friends and family started to go to meet this man, and they forgave him. It didn't stop there. So the mother, she goes and she starts to talk to the court systems to try to reduce the 26 years to 11. And she's able to get the court system to reduce it from 26 years to 11. After this man was behind the car while drinking, this man was given forgiveness by this wonderful woman and reduced his sentence from 26 years to 11. This is a forgiveness story. And we're going to talk about a Bible forgiveness story. Today, Joseph was sold into slavery by his brothers. We talked about it last week. He was being pompous. He was the favorite, and his brothers couldn't take it anymore. They wanted to kill him, but instead they decided to make money and sell him off to slavery. So what they did is when they sold him off to slavery, he went to Egypt. And Joseph had this power. He was able to interpret dreams. And when he interpreted dreams, he was able to gain power. He was the only one person that could interpret the dreams for Pharaoh was Joseph. And he became the second man in charge, the right-hand man of Pharaoh. So he had power. So Joseph's brothers started to come to him because Israel was having a famine. They needed food. They needed to go to somewhere that had food. So they were coming to Egypt to where they could get food with Joseph. And Joseph recognized them, but they didn't recognize him. And he knew what they did to him. So they came and he messed with them. He knew something was wrong. He knew there was one brother missing. That Benjamin wasn't there. So he put one brother in jail and sent the rest of them to go get Benjamin. And he sent them back and said, "Bring my other brother to me." And he brought them back. They brought Benjamin back. So then when Benjamin comes back and all of them come back, the next thing you know is he messes with them again. So he gives them all silver and wheat, and then he puts a silver chalice into Benjamin's bag. Because he knew something special about Benjamin. And he sends them off. Go home, eat, and come back when you need more. And he sends his officials out. And his officials stop him and pull him and say, there's a silver chalice that's been stolen. And they get out and they look into each and everyone's bag and they see it's Benjamin's bag. As Joseph knew something was special about Benjamin, Benjamin was now the new favorite of the father. Because Joseph was the favorite. And Joseph's father, Jacob, believed that he was killed and wasn't alive anymore. So now Benjamin is the favorite. And the brothers are like, "Oh no, here is Benjamin. He's got the golden chalice. He's got the silver chalice. He is being framed. Our father is going to kill us." Because this is his favorite. So they tore their clothes. That was Jewish law. They tore their clothes. They were so upset. But finally we come to this scene. And Joseph can't take it anymore. He just starts weeping and crying. He has to forgive his brothers. And he says, "Leave me alone." And he tells his brothers. And his brothers are afraid when they find out that it's Joseph. And he tells them, "Don't be afraid of me." He said, "Is my father still alive?" Asks, "Is his father still alive?" And next thing, he said, "Yes, my father." He said, "Go bring my father back to me. I will give you all land in Goshen." It'll be good land. Pharaoh will give me this land, and you guys will have prosperity and will be taken care of through the power of Pharaoh and through the power of Joseph, because Joseph was his right-hand man of Pharaoh. So this is a forgiveness story. He finally forgave his brothers after they sold him off to slavery. So we have to ask ourselves, what exactly is forgiveness? It is hard. It is one of the hardest things in the Bible to do, forgiveness. What is it? Many theologians and scholars argue over this. What exactly is it? Some believe that forgiveness, you have to ask the person for forgiveness, and they have to receive it. The person you ask receive. For example, if in the jail where the man was put to 26 years in jail, he asked the family for forgiveness. And the mother came and she went to the jailhouse and she forgave him. So she received it and forgave him. So the forgiveness cycle was complete. And then there's other scholars and theologians that believe forgiveness, as long as you ask somebody for forgiveness, you're forgiven. No matter if they forgive you or not. So it's like me asking Ryan for forgiveness, and it's free. It's off of me now. I'm free. But Ryan won't forgive me. So he has the burden of not forgiving me, of not forgiveness. So he has that weight on him now, because he won't forgive me. But I, since I've asked, have been forgiven. So there's two theories on that, and I want you guys to think about it. But I want you to know, this is an 8-pound weight. Well, Scott, this is nothing to you. You could probably throw this 100 yards. But this 8-pound weight doesn't seem that heavy, right? But forgiveness is weight on you. It weighs on you. And each day you don't forgive somebody, it's like another 8 pounds being added. So carry this around all day. And then tomorrow you're going to have to carry around 2 of them. And then the next day, 3 of them. Until finally it weighs so heavy on your chest that you just collapse. And it hurts you. Physically and mentally. That is what, if you don't forgive somebody, is like. The weight just hangs on your stomach and your chest. It just weighs you down until you finally collapse. Now Joseph was getting to that point where he was getting to the collapse and he kept messing with his brothers. But finally, he let it go. He finally forgave him and started crying. And he let it go. Just like the movie Frozen, you guys have to let it go. It's freedom. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. You know the movie. Come on now. You got to let it go. And to get that weight off of you, forgive. Ask for forgiveness. It's heavy on you. You got to let that weight go. So that is what forgiveness is. You got to let that out. Get it off your chest. And that's freedom. Total freedom. Because forgiveness is freedom. But forgiveness is something else. And all these scholars and theologians that you hear about, this is just a regular person that wrote this. It's fantastic. Just a regular person. You don't need a theologian. And I liked it what he said here. He put it, I don't even know if it was a he or she. It's fantastic. It says, what it means to forgive someone, I always wondered how I could forgive someone who chose to hurt me. But after a lot of soul searching, I realized that forgiveness isn't about accepting or excusing their behavior. It's about letting it go and preventing their behavior from destroying my heart. Again, it's about letting it go and preventing their behavior from destroying my heart. So we have to let it go. Freedom. But there's another thing to forgiveness. Forgiveness is not about forgetting. You don't forget when you forgive. So what he's saying here, or she's saying in here, is you don't forget it. You don't put people back in the power spots that will be able to harm you again. If someone is abusing you physically or mentally, cheating, lying, stealing from you, you can't put them back in that power spot that they can keep doing this for you. You know the saying, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. You can't be continuously putting people back in this power spot continuously hurting you. Joseph didn't let this happen. Joseph didn't give his brothers power back ever again to give a chance to be able to sell him back off to slavery. God didn't give the brothers any power back to have a chance to come back and sell Joseph off to slavery. It didn't end like that. The story didn't end like that. Joseph had the power. We cannot let people that are, if we say, okay, I need $500, and we write them a check for $500. I'll pay you back. And they don't pay you back. Now they got the power, and then they come back to you. I need another $200. You write them a check, and they don't pay you back. They're taking advantage of it. And you give, I need $100. You give it to them again. You can't continuously be putting them in the power spot to be taking advantage of you. If you're being also verbally, physically abused, cheated on, lied to, stolen from, you can't continuously be putting them back into these spots to continuously hurting you. Forgiveness isn't forgetting. God did not put the brothers back in a spot to sell Joseph back into slavery. We can't be putting people back in a spot to continuously hurt us. So 2 things before I sit down is forgiveness. God is all about forgiveness. Before it even comes to our tip of our lips, He knows the guilt and the remorse that we feel inside of us. He knows, or she knows, God knows what's inside of us. Before we even come to the tip of our lips to ask God for forgiveness, God's already forgiven us. That's how great our God is. Forgive us. Before it even comes to our tips of our lips. That's how great God is. And the last thing is, we can be hard on ourselves. We can be very hard on ourselves. We can ask other people for forgiveness. We can forgive others. But we can't, and God always forgives us. But we have to forgive ourselves. Sometimes we don't forgive ourselves. You cannot complete the forgiveness cycle without forgiving yourself. Because if you don't forgive yourself, you're living in the past tense. You're going on the past and you're weighing yourself down with those weights. You have to forgive yourself. And if you're living in the past tense, you're not in tune with God. Because God is a God of the present tense. He forgives and moves on, lives in the present. He doesn't live in the past. We have to stay in tune with God. So I say to you, ask for forgiveness. Forgive others. God forgives us. So we have to forgive others, ask for forgiveness. And we also have to forgive ourselves and not be so hard on ourselves. So forgive yourself. And don't live in the past. Because if you're living in the past, you're not in tune with the present God. God is a God of the present. Present. So live in the present and forgive. Amen.